Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Net Crochet Tejido. In this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to knit this beautiful hat. It's very easy to do. I hope you guys like it and give it a try. And here is the list of material you're going to need to make it. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the little bell. That way you get notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I make my videos in Spanish and English. If you're receiving a Spanish video and you want to see in English, go to the main page of my YouTube channel that you'll find the English version in there. Also, I have some playlists. One of them is all my videos in English, so it'll be easier for you to find them. To make this hat, I'm gonna use this material. This is Bernat Wool Up Worsted Canadian Heritage Collection. You can use any yarn. This one is 100 grams, 218 meters. Is 20% wool, 80% acrylic. It's medium 4, so you can use any medium 4 yarn that you have. And the color of this one is Dress Blue Heather. And I have like a halo, like from the wool. It's really beautiful. You're gonna need a round counter or a piece of paper and pen to keep track of the round, because you need it for the motif of the stitch. Measurement tape for the length, tapestry needle and scissor, and this sheer glue that I'm gonna use, where you can get them is in the description box below. This one is a 3.5 millimeter for the border and a 5 millimeter for the top of the hat. Now, if you want the hat just a little bit loose, you can use a 4.4 millimeter for the border and this 5 millimeter for the top. But now, if you want the hat a little bit bigger or much bigger for adult, you can use a 4.5 for the border and a 5.5 to a 6 millimeter for the top. I'm gonna start by leaving a tail long enough to cast on my stitches. I'm gonna cast on 84 stitches. The stitch is multiple of 6, so that will be 14 times the repetition plus 1 to close the circumference. It will be 85 stitches. If you want this hat bigger, you will increase your stitches using the same size needle. But also you can change the size of your hat just by changing the needle size. So just by changing your needle size, you change your hat size. And if you want it smaller, you can decrease the amount of stitches. So to leave the tail, I'm going to wrap here 21 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. 21 and 21 is 42. Then I go here. And 42 and 42 is 84. Plus extra for the 85 and a little extra for tail. I always like to leave a little extra tail, that way I can even my work. So I'm gonna wrap in here for my slip knot. This is the working yarn, this is the tail. The working yarn is always go in the top, and you hold it in place, pass your needle, pull that working yarn out through that loop, and you just pull and you have your slip knot. This is the working yarn, this is the tail. Put in between your fingers and you start casting on your stitches. Once I have my 85 stitches, I will meet you here. Here I have my 85 stitches. Now I'm going to close the circumference. I'm not going to do the super elastic cast on, just in case a beginner wants to do this. It'll be much easier. So I'm going to close the circumference. You have to make sure that this is not twisted. You're going to pass your first stitch to the right hand needle. And with my nail, I'm squeezing tight in here. That way, this don't pull. Because it already happened that I tried to close recording in Spanish and I pull the stitch out. So I'm gonna make the last stitch, number 85, a little bit loose to pass it over that one, and I'm gonna pull that working yarn. I'm gonna hold the needle. Now I'm gonna come here, and with the two ends I'm gonna close the circumference really tight, and that will close the gap in between the beginning and end of your round. Now you're gonna pass the stitch back to the left hand needle, you're gonna place your marker, or in this case is my marker and round counter, and I'm gonna start with my first round of a 1 by 1 We're gonna start with a 1 by 1 rib. I'm gonna work for 6 centimeters because I'm gonna do a single brim. If you want a double brim, you will do 12 centimeters, that way you can fold it in half. And if you want this for adult and you want a single brim, you'll do 7.5. If you want to double them up, around 15 centimeters. That way you can fold it. So you're gonna start with one net, one purl, one net, one purl, and like that you're going to continue with one net, one purl until the end. You start with a net and you will finish with a purl stitch. Since we have even number, that will be perfect. Once you finish the first round, you're going to continue exactly the same, one net, one purl, one net, one purl, for those 6 centimeters, give or take. Don't have to be exactly 6 centimeters. So I'm going to work off camera on mine, and then I'll give you the measurements and the amount of round that I will do for mine. But just a 1 by 1 rib. Here I have 11 round, and it measures 5.5 centimeters, so that's why it says 6 centimeters, give or take. So for mine, 5.5 is perfect. I'm gonna change to a bigger size needle. If you don't have this interchangeable, and the one that you have are like this, you're gonna do the last round changing from one needle size to the next one. But for mine, since I can remove them, I will change them, and then I will start working in the first round of the motif. This motif is made in 8 round, so it's an 8 round repetition. Only in 3 and 7 you do the cable. Row 1 and 2, 4 and 5, 6 and 8 are net round. So only in 2 rounds you do the cable, the rest is net. So you're gonna start row 1, or round 1, it's a net round. Round 2 is another net round. And then in round 3, I will measure here to start with our cable. I finished round 2. Now I'm going to work on 3. I already did this repetition of the motif in Spanish, so it's a 6 stitch repetition. And right away you're going to start with the 2 stitches of those 6. You're going to knit 2. Now you're going to C4B, que es cable, you know, a cable of 4 stitches to the back. So you'll grab the 2 first stitches because it's a cable of 4. You divide the stitches in half. If it's a cable of 8, you will do 4 and 4, but it's a cable of 4, it's 2 and 2. And you're going to pass the 2 first stitches to the cable needle, bring them in the back because it's a back cable. You're going to knit the next 2. And you're going to knit the 2 in the cable needle. And that is your first repetition. You start again. Knit 2. C4B, the cable to the back, cable of 4. The next 2, you pass to the back, you knit the next 2, and if you don't feel comfortable knitting the 2 stitches from the cable needle, you pass them to your working needle. You bring it to this end, and you pass them, and then you knit from here. But for me it's easier from the cable needle, that way as I skip that step. And you start again. Knit 2, cable of 4 to the back, you're going to pass 2 stitches to the back, knit 2, and knit the 2 in the cable. And like that you're going to continue all the way around this round 3. I finished round 3. Now 4, 5, and 6, they're knit round. So you're going to knit for those 3 rounds. Knit all your stitches. And then in round 7, I will meet you here to do the cable again. This is a very easy cable stitch to do, especially if you're a beginner and you want to do some cable but you don't feel comfortable doing those big cables. This one is perfect because it's only a 4 stitch cable. And it's really easy to do. So work on those 3 knit round, and I will meet you here for round 7. We're going to do the cable again, except we're going to switch the position of the cable. I finished round 6 and 7. We're going to start with the cable of 4 and then knit 2. In 3 you did knit 2 and then the cable. But this time you're going to do the cable and knit 2. But this time the cable is going to the front. So C4F. I already did this 3 in Spanish. I'm going to grab these next 2 to the front of your work. Knit the next 2 on the back of your cable needle. And now you're going to knit the 2 in your cable needle. Try to bring them to the tip as much as you can, that way you don't stretch the stitches on your cable needle, especially the second one. And knit those 2. Now you're going to knit 2, and that's the repetition. cable to the front. So you grab the first 2 stitches to the front. You're gonna knit 2. You're gonna knit the 2 in the cable. And you're gonna knit 2. And that's the repetition in round 7. Cable to the front, so C4 front. You're gonna knit the next 2, and you're gonna knit the next 2 in the cable needle. If you don't want to work from the cable needle, you pass them to your working needle, but you have to make sure don't stretch those stitches. They used to tend to stretch a little bit when you're working like this. You see this one tend to stretch. You knit those and knit 2, and like that you're going to continue until the end of round 7. I finished round 7. 8 is all knit. You're going to knit all the stitches. I finished round 8. Now those are the 8 round repetition that you're going to do over and over. You're going to start with round 1 and 2 are knit, round 3 cable to the back, round 4, 5 and 6 knit, round 7 cable to the front, round 8 knit again. So it's very easy and fast to do. So work in round 1 and 2, knit those 2 rounds, and I will meet you here one more time to show you how to do round 3 with the cable. Once you finish round 2, you're going to work on round 3 and you're going to knit 2. Cable 4 to the back. So you're going to grab 2, pass it to the back, and the cable needle. You're going to knit 2. And you're going to knit 2 from the cable needle. And that's the 6 stitch repetition that you're going to do over and over. You're going to knit 2. Cable to the back, so 2 stitch to the back, you're going to knit 2, and you're going to knit the 2 in the cable needle. And you're going to do that repetition, knit 2, cable 4 to the back, and so on, over and over until the end. And that will be round 3. So in this one, because I have like that halo whitish color, the heather, you don't see as much as the stitch, but this is what you created in here, in those cable fabric. So I'll meet you here. I finished round 3. Now 4, 5 and 6 are knit round. So you're going to knit all those stitches. And I will meet you here for round 7. to show you one more time how to do the cables in the round. Once you finish round 6, you're going to work on 7. This time the cable is to the front, and right away you're going to start with the cable. When you pass your stitch marker, you start with the cable. I already did this too in Spanish. So you're going to do cable to the front. So you're going to pass 2 stitch to the front. You're going to knit the next 2. You're going to knit the 2 in the cable needle. And you're going to knit 2. So the difference between 3 and 7, and 3, you start with knit 2 and then the cable to the back, and 7, cable to the front, knit 2. Two stitches to the front, knit 2, knit the 2 stitches in the cable needle, and knit 2. And like that you're going to continue all the way around. And you, in the camera, you hardly see the stitch because of the color of the yarn, but in person it look amazing, like an interweave. Round 8, knit. I finished a repetition of round 8, so that's a 2 round repetition. It'll look like this. You don't see it as much, but if I turn a little bit like this, you see? You can see the nice cable pattern like that. So you'll continue working until you have the length for the hat that you're making. So for this one is from 3 to 10 years old. That will be 8.5 inches, 22 centimeters. If you're making this from 12 months to 3 years, 8 inches, 20.5 centimeters. If you're making this for 6 to 12 months, that will be 7.5 inches, 19 centimeters. From 3 months to 6 months, 7 inches, 18 centimeters. And for a newborn, 6 inches, 15 centimeters. So that depends on the size hat that you're making, the amount of stitches you cast on for the hat. So I'll continue working until I have my 8.5 inches to close the top of our hat. Here I have the length that I want for the hat before I do the decrease for the top. And I measure almost 8.5 inches, not quite. But since I'm going to do some decrease in the top, that will give the extra length. I want to make this hat that, since William is growing so fast, that at least will be good for 1 year. Because he's like growing like a weed. He's already 4, going to school, and his clothes is like a 6 years old clothes. So he's growing fast. So I'm gonna do some decrease in this row, and our stitches, I have 84 is multiple of 14, so I'll do SSK and the 2 first stitches of those 14 and 2 together at the end. So each 14 stitches you'll do 2 decrease. So since I don't have any marker to mark every 14 stitches, I found this easier if I start like this, counting. You gonna SSK these two, so slip, slip, and knit those two together to the back strand. And since those are 2 stitches that you knit together, so you count those as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and 13 and 14 you'll do together. So you decrease 2 stitches. So now you'll have 12. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That was the SSK in there. So again, you will SSK, slip, slip, and knit those two together through the back strand. And those count those as 2 stitches because you put 2 together, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and 13, 14 together. And like that you will continue until the end of this first round of decrease. And I wanted to mention that I work until the repetition of round 8 of the motif, and then I will knit the rest at the top of the hat, doing all the decrease. I don't want to do the motif or anything, just knit for those extra rounds of work. I finished the first round of decrease. Now we're going to do the repetition again, but with different amount of stitches in between because we decreased in the one before. Now from 12 you will have 10 in this decrease round. So you're going to start with SSK, slip, slip, and knit those two together through the back strand. Now I don't want to count those as 2. I just don't want to count that one. I'm going to count 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. I will knit them together. Now if you count your stitches, you will have 10. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 was the SSK. So like that you will continue in this repetition, because in each round you are decreasing 2 stitches in those decrease space. So again, slip, slip, let those two together through the back strand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9 and 10 together. And like that, you're going to continue in this second round of decrease. So I finished round 2 of decrease, and we're gonna do the same in round 3, but this time you're gonna count 6 stitches in between the decrease. So you're gonna slip, slip, and let those two together to the back strand, and then you're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7 and 8 together. And again, a slip, and then those two together for the back through the back strand. And a 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and let those two together. And like that, you're going to continue in this round 3 of decrease. So you're going to slip, not those two together through the back strand. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and let those two together for a decrease. And just like that, you're going to continue until the end. Now in round 4 of decrease, you're going to do exactly the same. You're going to SSK, slip, and let those two together through the back strand. Now you're going to knit 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to knit 2 together. Slip, and knit those two together through the back strand. And you're going to knit 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to knit next two together. And like that is how you're going to continue all the way until the end. A slip, a slip, knit it together, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the next two together. Now in round 5 we're going to do exactly the same decrease, but this time you're going to SSK, knit 2 and knit 2 together. So it will be a little bit more difficult to do the decrease in this round because you're getting less and less stitches, so you have to be moving them around, pushing them a little bit and trying to pull the cable a little out in order to do this round of decrease because you have fewer stitches than the length of your cable. So you're going to SSK, slip, slip, knit 2 together through the back strand, knit 2, and knit 2 together. So you have to be squeezing them in, knit 2 together. Even you have to pull out a little bit your cable in order to work this round. Now you're going to SSK, slip, slip, and knit this two together through the back strand. Knit 2 and knit 2 together, and like that you're going to continue until the end of this round. And be patient because this is a tight round, very tight. And knit this two together. Well, that was the last round of decrease because I have 2 little stitches to continue myself. But if you want to do another round of decrease, you want to do it with double pointed needle, you can do that. But for me, with this is enough because the length is perfect. So what you do in this one, you will do 2 together, 2 together, 2 together. So you will SSK these 2, knit them together through the back strand, and the next 2 you knit them together, and the same on each one of them. So I wanted to mention, if you are making a bigger size hat and you have more stitches, you will divide those stitches in even amount of stitches on each space. Mine were 14 on each. Maybe yours could be, I don't know, 15 on each or 16 on each. Depends of the amount of stitches that you're doing. So try to make sure that in each space you have the amount of stitches. That's the important thing. The amount of space don't matter. It's just the amount of stitches in that space. But in the less stitch you have in the space, more decrease you will have, and they will look a little bit weird. But you know, from 14 to 16, 17, that's fine. As long as you have the same amount of stitches on each space, that way they're nice and even. So now I'm going to cut a strand long enough to pass it through those stitches twice, pull them into the inside, secure really well, loose the tails, and I will finish the hat. The hat that look really nice, and in person look amazing because it's like in camera because the little halo that this yarn have, you don't see it as well, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous stitch. It's like really nice. I don't know how to show it for you to see it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's like an interweave cable. So I'm gonna do that on the top, and then I will have the hat done. Once you finish, your hat will look like this. And from the top, and measure 8.5 inches here, exactly 8.5 inches. So if you made these 8.5 inches before you start the decrease, it will be just a little bit more roomy in the top, and it's good for your kid if you have a lot of hair, or if it's a girl with long hair. It's good to have extra room, or your kid will grow into it. So this is the amount of yarn that I have left. You can make a cowl or neck warmer for your kid. You can do some seed stitch, like you start with 80 stitches, 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, and then you do 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, net for a few rounds for the border, and then you will knit some row rounds. If you like, you can do some of these in the center, you know, just a few repetition, and then you will do the same in the border, the seed stitch, you can stuff or bind off, and you will have a nice neck warmer. I don't like to make scarves for kids because I find that they are a little bit in the dangerous side, because they can get caught in anything, especially if they go to school. They can, you know, I don't like it. I prefer neck warmer, so it's safer for kids, and it will keep them nice and warm, nothing dangling around. So I hope you guys like it, and give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. And if you make this beautiful hat, let me show you. You don't see it as much, but it's gorgeous, this interweave stitch. And you want to send me some picture, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Net Crochet Tejido, or my Instagram, Ruby Net Crochet Tejido. Please share my video with friends and family. That way you help me grow here on YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day.